Hey everybody, welcome aboard. Good to have you. It's a beautiful evening here on the San Antonio Riverwalk, and I think it's just about time to put my boat into Fiesta mode. Yeah. Hey, my name is Captain Mo. Pleasure to have you all on board. Well, we travel for about half an hour together. I'm going to share my favorite fun facts, fabulous fables, and outright fabrications. But first, we got to talk a little bit about safety, okay? Y'all got to know we got life jackets here in case of emergencies. Nobody's ever had to use them. You and I don't want to be the first. So let's make each other a promise, and we'll stay inside the boat, okay? Y'all can do that by remaining seated. Don't stand up, don't lean over the railings, don't touch the bridges or the trees or anything else that's not in the boat already. Now, on my left side is going to be our first landmark, sitting here in the corner, Lali, the Stargazer, built in 2022 by artist Pedro Reyes. She peers through a tiny little pinhole in that white marble star and represents the potential of San Antonio. And she shows us just how to get it done, too. You just got to stay focused, the way she's focused on her white marble star. Now, y'all are here during San Antonio's marquee event known as Fiesta. Now, who's heard about Fiesta for the very first time right now when I just said that? Oh, quite a few of us. I got a feeling you might have known about it already, sir. You got the laurels on the little girl's head. Y'all are looking snazzy and ready for Fiesta. But some of y'all heard about it for the first time just now. Y'all are here in, like, the biggest event of San Antonio's whole year. Every year, in April, there's a 10-day festival celebrating the unique culture and heritage of San Antonio. And it's also known as a party with a purpose. Fiesta raises more than $300 million every year for charities and philanthropic groups in San Antonio. That's what these medals are all about. That's what this big thing that says Fiesta here is all about. And there's a parade that's going to be going through here. We might even catch a bit of it, and that's what that's all about too, the Fiesta Time Boat Parade tonight. Now look in here, you see that steeple up there? That is St. Joseph's Catholic Church. Built in 1868, resides up on Commerce Street. St. Joseph's, the first church in San Antonio to offer a German sermon. Now most services at St. Joseph's today are in English. But they do still like to sprechen a little bit of Deutsch from time to time. They have a choir that sings in German about once a month. Now, oh goodness, splash zone up there. Sorry about the turbulence, folks. Looking up on Alamo Street to the right side, we've got the Torch of Friendship. 65-foot tall sculpture with two pillars representing two neighbors traveling side by side through history. The two neighbors are the United States and Mexico. It was built in 2002 to celebrate the alliance of our two nations. See how Captain Frank's boat here, and there, folks. Viva Fiesta, my friends. Now, we started out our tour in a man-made part of the river. Once we make this next turn here, we're going to be in the natural course of the San Antonio River. The downtown area of San Antonio, some of the earliest settlement is in our city, and it was built around the Horseshoe Bend. This U-shaped section of the river has been the course of this river for at least 15,000 years. Another view of that Torch of Friendship over my left shoulder. And looking straight forward over Market Street, you see the Hilton Palacio del Rio, a monumental hotel. 500-room hotel, built more quickly than most humans are built. Any mother can tell you it takes about 9 months to build a human. It took them 7.5 months to build the Hilton Palacio del Rio. That is the fastest construction of any building of its size. And it was built way back in 1968. So they weren't trying to set a world record when they built this big old hotel. They were trying to meet a deadline. You see, we have the World's Fair here. They had the World's Fair here in town, and we had 7 million people come to the city that year, which was quite a bit more than we'd ever hosted any year prior. And so the city realized we kind of had a shortage of hotel rooms. They offered this little plot of land for free if anyone could build a 500-room hotel in 9 months or less. Now, they were able to do that. The H.P. Zachary Company used a whole lot of labor. They paid a whole lot of overtime, but they also had a new method called the tower module system. All 500 of those rooms were built as modules 6 miles south of here. They were trucked into town, lifted up on cranes, and secured onto that central tower. You'll see them stacked up there like Lego blocks together from the 5th floor on up. The final week of construction, they hung as many as 35 rooms per day. see some great patio restaurants here on the left side. You see some signs through here that say La Villita, and you see the buildings with a little bit more of a focus on that old world charm of San Antonio. So La Villita was actually the site of the first neighborhood of San Antonio. The Spanish soldiers stationed to defend the Alamo selected this spot for their homestead in 1722. Today, the historic arts village, La Villita, maintains that same old world charm and hosts many cultural events as well as local artist shops and galleries. This stage here, the Arneson River Theater, built in 1941 as the centerpiece of the original Riverwalk. At the back of the stage, there are 5 bronze bells representing the 5 historic Spanish missions of San Antonio. Now, about 100 events take place on this stage every year. Have any of y'all ever seen one of the shows at the Arneson? No? Have any of you ever seen the movie Miss Congeniality, starring Sandra Bullock? There's actually a scene here on this stage featuring the Arneson River Theater stage at the swimsuit contest on that stage. On the right side of the boat, you're going to see some gorgeous bronze statues and some wild children. About 12 bronze statues throughout the campus of the Briscoe. The most iconic is this Camino de Galvez right there. That muy guapo caballero running up his toros. The museum here opened in 2013 and celebrates the Old West. But the building was actually built in 1930 and was the first public library of San Antonio. How y'all doing, Viva Fiesta, my friends? And this is actually the first ever bridge over the San Antonio River, right here on Presa Street. This bridge was built in 1890. The first of 5 of these bridges that were identical were built out here. Now, we didn't have the kind of foundry to make large structural iron trusses like this in San Antonio, so they had to be shipped in from Berlin.
Berlin. Shipped in from Berlin.
I'm so amazed.
On the right side of our boat, there's a little heart-shaped island here, formed by the roots of a cypress tree. It's called Marriage Island, hosts about 300 weddings every year. This is also a great spot for bird watching. You see Mama Duck with her little baby right there. And about 90% chance within 5 minutes of coming over here, you'll see some birds hanging out. Marriage Island has a little sculpture there. If you look back, you see the hands on that sculpture. Those are the hands of Father Massanet, who served the first communion on this river right about here. That communion took place on June 13, 1691, when the Spanish missionaries finally found a safe place to cross the river. Now, they saw that as providence from God to give them a safe crossing. And they found it on St. Anthony's feast day. June 13th is St. Anthony's feast day. So they celebrated and named the river San Antonio. The river has another name, though, given by the Payaya tribe of Cojutecan Native Americans. They call the river Yanaguana, which means the clear, calming waters, or the waters of the peaceful spirit. Atop the Tower Life building. This is the tallest 8-sided building in the country.
Wow.
Now, I don't care how specific I have to be. We're in Texas, and I'm a tour guide. We're going to have the biggest something or other on my tour. Tower Life building built in 1929. There are gargoyles on the 30th and the 31st floor. There's intricate stonework throughout the building. And above the street level windows, there's a row of faces, vile faces called grotesques, meant to scare away bad business and evil spirits. My favorite one is the second guy from the end right there, with his mouth wide open, his eyes bulging out, like somebody just fed him his first ever jalapeno pepper. And there's a smirking guy next to him, that's the Texan who talked him into it. Now, looking straight in front of our boat, you see a red sandstone building, that is Bexar County Courthouse. This is the oldest active courthouse in Texas. It's a masterwork of masonry with some iconic mason work on there. Those stone tiles and that dome spire over the entryway, as well as the beautiful polished Texas granite interior of the building. Now, on the right side, if you want to see behind the curtain, look underneath the International Center to see where we park our boats, the marina here underneath that building. The International Center houses the trade offices of foreign nations in the United States, San Antonio, since 1998. Now, pardon me while I blow my horn a couple times, a toot, and then we keep on going under this bridge. So we have a green light here, but that's not a traffic signal. That light is an indicator. It lets us know floodgate number 4 is down. There's a big metal plate under the water right here, which can rise up and block the flow of the river. When the floodgates are up, it diverts all flow through this flood channel. This flood channel, built in 1924 by the Army Corps of Engineers, protects the commerce of the downtown area and was the first flood control on this river after a catastrophic flood September 9, 1921. So this is man-made, and this is the lion's share of water that passes through San Antonio, flows through this section now, but it is not the natural flow of the river. The natural flow takes that windy, bendy shape through downtown, and then keeps going that way. The flood channel here was built to bypass the downtown area, so that we'll never have rising water in downtown. Y'all can hear some live music going on here. There's a big Fiesta celebration going on at the main plaza. We're going to see on our left side here in just a moment. And in front of us, you might get to see some of the parade going by on that next bridge on Commerce Street. So we got nobody coming up behind us. I might slow down here for just a little bit and see if we can't catch anything going by. On the left side, San Fernando Cathedral at the main plaza is hosting their Fiesta celebration here until midnight tonight.
Until midnight.
San Fernando Cathedral is the oldest congregation in Texas. They started their congregation in 1731 after migrating here from the Canary Islands and helping to establish San Antonio. They started building that cathedral. You see the bell tower there. They started building their cathedral in 1738. They finished in 1750, but they didn't like the first one, so they tore it down. They started building a new cathedral in 1751, and the oldest parts of that cathedral were finished in 1755. I'm not going to be able to linger here any longer, but I was hoping to see one of the floats go by in front of us. Commerce Street up there, that's our parade going on. Let's interview folks up there on the street. Hey, parade folks, how we doing today? How y'all doing? Have y'all seen any floats yet up there? Y'all seen any floats go by? Any of the floats go by yet? You seen anybody with fancy shoes? Not yet? Okay, no floats yet. So that's the sort of the inside of the tradition of Fiesta. And you say, show me your shoes. And then we're going to wear some fancy shoes on the float. They also got cascarones. Anybody been hit by a cascarones yet? It's confetti eggs, it's colorful Easter eggs full of confetti, pop them over your head. And these medals are also part of the Fiesta tradition. Straight in front of our boat is a heritage bald cypress tree older than San Antonio itself. 100 feet tall, 25 feet wide, and 300 to 600 years old. That tree right there is home to about 5 nesting pairs of herons that have moved in here over the last month. And it's called the Ben Milam tree, named after a Texan Army officer who gathered the forces that took the city of San Antonio in December of 1835. Now, while the Texan Army took the city, the Mexican Army took Colonel Milam's life. He was shot down by a Mexican Army sniper, believed to have been hiding in that tree right there. How we doing, folks? Viva Fiesta!
Happy Fiesta!
Now, you see all of those skulls on the tiki torches here? Those are the belligerent guests who decided to have no fun on their boats. They ticked off their boat captains and got thrown overboard. So I want to thank y'all for being so wonderful today. I haven't had to throw anybody out of this boat. The Esquire Tavern here on the right side is the oldest bar on the river. This bar opened right after Prohibition ended in 1933, and not a day prior. Okay, it was illegal to serve alcohol during Prohibition, so nobody would have been doing that here. This was a very legitimate barber shop, my friends, and a very popular one too. Fellas were getting their hair cut 5 or 6 times a week. We'll pass by another one of our boat docks here, the historic Aztec Theater. On the right side, the Aztec Theater, built in 1926. You might see the Aztec grotesques on the very top right of the building. Above a brown circle, there's 2 faces with Aztec feather headdresses on them. If you didn't see those ones, you'll definitely see the one up on the balcony, that totem up there. I want to take this opportunity to show you some of our boat designs. On the left side, Captain Nicole's boat here in pink celebrates our military heritage. Military City, USA, San Antonio, hosts more than 80,000 service members who work and train here, and 1 in 5 families is service connected. You also see Captain Maggie's boat, same design, and Captain Craig's boat there has doves and roses, which matches our boat. Celebrates the peace and prosperity of Viva, viva. Thank you so much. Fiesta, my friends. Wow, they are living it up. Living the dream here on the Riverwalk. That is the most conviviality I've ever had coming out of my boat. This bridge right here, that is Selena's bridge, my friends. Dedicated to the superstar who brought Tejano to the mainstream in the 80s and 90s, Selena Quintanilla. So beloved here in San Antonio, they made a film about her in 1997, starring Jennifer Lopez. The film was titled Selena. Now that bridge was featured in the movie, which is why it's dedicated to Selena today, and it's one of the most photographed spots on the river. People like to come and reenact the scene from the film. On our left side, the La Mansion Hotel started out as a schoolhouse in 1853 called St. Mary's Institute. Now we still got that school in San Antonio, but they call themselves a university, and they're about 4 miles west of here. They left this building in 1966. The final graduating class that year had a fellow graduate, and then buy this building, converted it into a luxury hotel. Over here on my left side, my favorite building on the tour, so go ahead and look way up there and a little bit further, 285 feet tall. That was the tallest hospital in the world when it opened in 1930. The Mix Hospital, 285 feet. What makes it my favorite is how colorful it is. Every level has a different design and colors in the brickwork. Now folks, it is Saturday, and if you're looking to spend your Saturday night on the Riverwalk, there's a few options right here, but I'm going to let it speak for itself. Sometimes it's best not to get little, you know? Just let the Riverwalk be the Riverwalk. We got some more live music coming up here around the corner. This oyster bar on the bend has a fabulous jazz combo that likes to perform 7 nights a week. Hopefully they're not taking a set. Oh, it looks like they're on their set break right now. So how we doing so far, everybody?
Good, good.
Feeling that Fiesta vibe going? Feeling that electricity building up on that Saturday night? All right, we're going to have one more chance to maybe see some floats on the parade in a little bit here. I want to ask y'all, anybody celebrating a special occasion other than Fiesta? We got any birthdays on this boat? We got any birthdays going on this week? How about anniversaries? Any anniversaries? Family reunions? Anybody have their first ever michelada today? Hi. Fiesta's good enough reason to be here, to be sure. I'm glad y'all are here. I'm honored you joined me. You know, especially during Fiesta, there's all sorts of things demanding your attention. And of all the things being offered here, you decided to hop on my boat. We're here together, and I think y'all are planning to make some memories. I hope for some of y'all, we are able to make some long, abiding memories for you and your friends and loved ones that are on the boat with you, folks. Actually, Monday is the last day of Fiesta. Every year it's a 10-day festival.
The restaurant,
This year it was later than usual because of Lent ending so
Oh,
late.
Dick's.
So in this
Fiesta
restaurant,
comes up in April,
Everything is?
usually a little bit earlier.
They're so mean to you. They throw menus at your face. You're nuts.
Really?
They don't give a shit about your
This
order.
is called the River
They get you the
Square,
wrong
my
order.
friends, where some of the
And they're like, you're gonna eat what I get you.
well-established shops, restaurants, and
I want to
bars
take you. This is in
stand
Vegas
on the
too.
riverside.
I want to take you in
So it's like a Dick's, like
Our
everybody's
Riverwalk,
rude
built in
there.
1941,
rude. They get
was
you the wrong
designed by a
order.
fellow
And you're
named
gonna
Robert
eat
H.
what I
Huckman,
get you.
lovingly
I
known
don't
as
give a fuck.
That's a good idea.
and we pay his
And
respects
they
right
write
here
like
on
shitty
this
things on
right
the
side
cap,
of the
on the
boat.
paper
That
cup,
was
and put
his
it on your
office
head.
where he moved
Oh,
his
no.
You're an
first
asshole.
tenants on the
You put
river.
it on your
I'm going
head.
to ask y'all to help me out with this. On the count of 3, we're going to look to this statue at the base of the stairs. We're going to say, thank you, Mr. Hugman. 1, 2, 3. Thank you,
Thank you, Mr. Hugman.
Thank you for your vision for San Antonio. All the
was the
joy that it
architect
brings
I
to
was telling you
myself and my
about.
Okay,
guests
he's
in
the
my
architect?
city. Thank you so much
Mr.
for
Hangman.
this beautiful river.
Thank you, Mr. Hangman.
The Riverwalk planned by Mr. Hugman, yes, sir. The city was looking at 2 different plans to control the flow and the level of the river. His plan was for the Riverwalk. The other plan that was presented would have capped over the river and built the city above it. The river would have disappeared underneath the city, and I think that would have destroyed the soul of San Antonio. Now that one last chance to see floats on the parade right behind us here, I'm going to hold it here as long as I can get away with it to see if we can't see one or two of them going by. The Fiesta Flambeau Parade stepped off about 3 miles north of here at 7:15. It should be coming by here any minute now, but we might still be a little bit too early to catch them. So what's it, about 8:30 now? 8:20?
Yes.
I would have expected to see some of them coming by here about now, but I suppose they're taking their time. They want it to be fully nighttime before those lit up nighttime floats come by. The Flambeau Parade is supposed to be a nighttime parade, so they might be stepping off a little bit later to make sure that they can get the full effect of those floats going down the streets in the nighttime. So bad news is you didn't get to see them from the boats, but good news is you can finish up the tour and then come up here to this street corner and you'll catch all of them coming by. So we just finished up the natural course of the river, making this left turn here, and we're going, oh, there's, look. Yeah, that might have been the marshal right there. Okay, well, all I saw was this big feather plume sticking up like this, so we're gonna finish up the tour so y'all can come and find the rest of the parade, folks. We finished up in the natural course of the river, and we're entering this man-made part once again, which extends the river to the east about 1/4 of a mile. That's why we call this the man-made extension. And the river, the original Riverwalk was built for flood control, but this part is just built to show off. No other purpose than that. And you see, San Antonio had that World's Fair in 1968, and if you think about it, that's kind of like the World Championship of showing off. So everybody's bringing their favorite thing to share with the class. In San Antonio, we brought the river. Now I can say hi to Captain Christmas. Viva Fiesta! Now we see a lot of vendors hanging out here. About once a month we come up with some excuse to invite them to come down and hang out as a river market. They're here for Fiesta this weekend.
Aslan भी कर रहा है वो.
You see there's a couple artworks along the river. There's a pair of wings there on the left side. There's a pair of flowers up there on the garden bed, about 8 foot tall and made out of steel. And there's about 10 more sculptures on Market Street, the right side here, street level. Some sidewalks passing by the San Antonio Riverwalk Public Art Garden, displaying many more sculptures up there. Looking through the gap in the trees on the right side, we'll see the tallest building in San Antonio, the Tower of the Americas, 750 feet tall, offers a beautiful view of the city. That was built as the centerpiece of the World's Fair. It stands in the middle of the hemisphere park. Viva! So the Tower of the Americas, atop that building, there's a restaurant called Chart House with a revolving dining room floor. There's Bar 601, and there's also the observation deck itself. Now, ascending through the center of the tower, there's a staircase with 963 stairs. But don't fret, folks, y'all get to take the elevators. In fact, you're actually not allowed to take the stairs unless it's an emergency evacuation. Now, some of y'all, every once in a while, I have a guest who's actually disappointed to hear that. For some awful reason, they want to take the stairs on purpose. Maybe they're an athlete or just a fool. Well, come back in the fall if that's you. There's a race to the top once a year, and the record for that race is 5 minutes and 19 seconds. Climb in the tower. Yes, sir.
Wow. How many steps are there?
963.
5 minutes is like about.
Yeah, that's about 2 feet of elevation per second.
Damn.
Now, before we keep going under this bridge, I want you to see on my left side this statue. There's another statue here. You see that one in between the palm trees? A bronze statue of a 12th century monk known as San Antonio, Saint Anthony de Padua, the namesake of the city and the namesake of the river, and he is the patron saint of finding things. So, since y'all are in San Antonio, I'm going to give y'all this little souvenir of mine. If you ever lose track of something and you want some help to find it, call on Saint Anthony by saying, "Tony, Tony, please come round. Something's lost and can't be found." And he's going to help you find your keys, your wallet, your cell phone, your marbles, your kids, whatever you're looking for. He'll help you out. If you lost some money, yeah, sure. That's like, oh, Saint Anthony, I lost the winning lottery ticket. Tony, Tony, please come round. All right. You can certainly try it, sir. I've never tried it for something like that, but it has helped me find my cell phone a few times. And one more thing to show you folks here, going around this curve here. Really quick, I want y'all to give a nice hearty Viva Fiesta to our mechanics. Viva Fiesta! How y'all doing? Come on, y'all show them all I can do. Yeah! These folks came out and helped me out. They took this off of the shaft of my prop, and my boat's going so much better. It's like a big bound up ball of fishing wire that was bound around my prop. I couldn't get it out. They saved me earlier today, folks. So we're going through the mall here. The shops at River Center, built in 1988. About 100 retail establishments, plenty of riverside options for dining, snacks, drinks, and entertainment. If you look up there in the highest part of the mall, you see some funny-looking girders and rafters. You can climb up there. You snap yourself in and climb the Legettville Adventure Park to the highest parts of the mall. There's the River Center has Dave & Buster's, Legoland, Sea Life Aquarium, AMC River Center Theater. The IMAX Theater has a documentary called Alamo, The Price of Freedom. Now, one of the newest additions here on the far side is called the Holy Moly Golf Club, opened back in November. Putt-putt golf, digital driving range, private karaoke suites as well. Now, before they built all of this, there was a historic hotel here called the Fairmount. The Fairmount built in 1906. Now, I didn't tell you that to give you some sad story about them tearing it down. The Fairmount still stands today. The reason we don't see it around here anywhere is because they picked it up and carried it down the road. And that's actually the heaviest building ever carried on city streets. In 1985, in order to start construction of this mall, they wrapped the Fairmount in metal bands, they lifted it up onto hydraulic dollies, and spent 6 days crawling down the road to a new home. The Fairmount still operates today on the corner of South Alamo and Nueva Street. Now, as the heaviest building ever carried on city streets, anybody want to venture a guess on how heavy it was? I'll tell you, it's 1,600 tons. 1600. 1,600 tons, folks. And that's going to bring us back around to where we started. We're going to finish up our tour here in just a moment. I want to thank y'all for joining me. You really do honor me by being here. Again, my name is Captain Mo. That's my pleasure. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.